Coming on. We're live.
Yesterday was an absolute disaster as West Ham rolled over to lose 3-0 to Manchester City, and Leeds went on to beat Crystal Palace 4-1 as West Ham are currently 5 points adrift with Nottingham Forest still to play Fulham later on today. Oh, it's a sorry state of affairs, mate. It's a sorry state of affairs right now.
Can't say it wasn't expected. I mean, I went up there yesterday, expected exactly to what happened to happen. But I've got to say this, and I've got to say, the truth is that I know it's Man City, and I know but it becomes clearly evident that there's people out there that can't do the basics of football, and that became very evident yesterday. And what I would say as well is when you're presented with chances, you got to take your chances. And we was presented with a few chances.
Yeah, we did. We did get a few chances. I don't know, man. I was just watching that game, and apart from the few chances, it just felt pitiful and lifeless. And just I see other teams when they've played Man City and given more of a fight, and there just didn't seem any fight. The subs happen, and you're like, there's no feeling of we're gonna change this game. I mean, he waits till we're like 3-0 down at the start. And it's just the same old story, to be honest with you. Like, and you know what I have to say, right, Nick? You've dished out a lot of apologies on this channel to Scott.
Mm.
Can I get one after we had that big heated debate a few weeks ago when we talked about our chances and how confident you were of us staying up, and we're much better than Leeds and all of this stuff. Ryan, if you're watching, jump in. If you're available. Yeah. So yeah, we talked about that, and obviously I got slated. I don't know. What's your perspective now?
There's a long way to go. There's a long way to go. I thought Ryan wasn't coming on.
I don't know. I mean, we put it in the chat. No, we're not gonna wait because I just said I've got to go out. I'm not gonna fucking wait. I'm not gonna wait because we got to go out. It's the whole point. If we got to do it, I've got to do it now. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
So just jump in.
Okay. What was we saying?
Yeah. You're saying there's a long way to go. So, but the whole point was, obviously you said I'm negative because I said I don't think we're just clearly better than Leeds. I don't think it's as cut and dry, as we're just gonna easily stay up. I said we could. I think we could stay up, but we'll scrape it.
I don't know. I don't know. As I said, there's a long way to go yet, and I know that it looks a bit dodgy when when you look at the the form of other teams and the form of us. But there is a long way to go, and there's a transfer window to go. And I see Nick at Claret and Booze yesterday saying that he wouldn't give the manager the transfer window. And listen, that's very easy to say when we look at. He said that they've conceded sort of like 11 times in 27 in a row where they haven't kept a clean sheet, and 11 of them was with obviously Nottingham Forest. But you also have got to take the fact that when he did have good players, he almost got into the Champions League with them. And he done very well with him for a couple of seasons. I mean, at the end of it was the fact that he was getting pushed out by the chairman. It seems, but I would give him. I would give him the transfer window. You've got to give him a chance. I think letting him come in and take over Potter's masterclass of transfers and Stuyvesant's failures. I think that's a bit sort of disingenuous to expect him to be able to do what he. I think there's been improvements in what he's seen, but I just think there's players there that are just not good enough. They're not good enough at all.
I think he did a lot of deflecting there, Nick.
No, I'm not deflecting. I'm not going to apologise for something because I still think it's the case.
You still think we are clearly better than Leeds?
Yeah. No, on paper, I think we are. Yeah, of course we are.
Oh, fuck paper. Fuck paper.
Yeah, but
we're playing on the grass, mate.
Games into the fucking season. There's still
17.
22 games left, mate. Let's see what the rest of the games do.
All right.
Before you start asking me for apologies,
I'm watching.
And then if it's at 30 games, I might fucking think about apologising. But don't ask me for apologies 17 games into the season.
Well, yeah, because I was right that we're not clearly better. We've done nothing.
It ain't the end of the fucking season.
I never said it's the end of the season. I'm talking about now. Who's better right now?
Transfer window.
Who's better right now? Who's the better fucking team? Who's the better team? Leeds or West Ham?
Obviously, Leeds are better right now.
Well, get the fuck up there.
It ain't the end of the. No, I won't shut the fuck up.
But that's what I said.
It ain't the end of the fucking season.
Okay, Nick. So basically,
at the end of the season.
Okay, if it's at the end of the season, I don't want to hear nothing from you till the end of this. No slating, no saying we're down. If we don't beat Fulham, I don't want you to go, well, that's it, that's done then, right? I watched your instant match reaction in the car, right? Obviously, I titled it, right? And it wasn't, you're not saying the same things as you was then. You wasn't saying, well, we've got a long way to go and it's all rosy and we've got a transfer window.
Of course, it's worrying. It's worrying to see them performances.
Okay.
But what I want to see how
he wasn't worried
in the next 4 games, Dan. I'm not going to start apologising and saying, oh, well, Leeds clearly Leeds are going to stay up over us.
No, but I just thought you was so... No, I never said we...
And we've still got to play Wolves twice. We've still got to play Leeds. We've still got to play Forest. All in the next 5 games, 6 games.
You're doing a Simon Jordan. You're misrepresenting my argument. What I said, I never said I never said we're going down. I never said Leeds are staying up. What I said was your confidence that we are staying up is not based on anything but hope, right? That's what I said. And you said, well, it's actually based on something that, we are a better team than Leeds, right? That's what you'd said, and I said I don't know what you're basing on.
Because player for player, go pound for pound, player for player, right? Our team versus Leeds team, who's better? Be honest, who's better?
Yeah, you're talking about paper, Nick. But look, let's look at this. Okay,
pound for pound, player for player. Go through every player on the pitch. Who's better, us or Leeds?
I say, do you know what? Right, in terms of stand up, I say Leeds. You know why? Because they can score goals, right? How many goal scorers we got in this? Paqueta don't score goals. Somerville don't score goals, right? Bowen's the only one. And if he's not scoring every week, then we're fucked, right? Fernandez, Magassa. You can name player after player after player. They don't score goals, right? Wilson doesn't play.
But there was a period where Leeds struggled to score goals, Dan. There was a period.
Yeah, do you know why? Yeah, but Nick, the problem is you don't watch games. You don't watch games.
And Leeds stopped scoring goals. That's the way the season's roll.
You don't watch games, Nick.
What?
You don't watch games. I've watched a lot of Leeds this season, mate.
Go to every fucking game.
I'm talking about other fucking games. How many Leeds games you been?
I don't watch other games because I'm not fucking indoors able to watch them.
Well, listen, Nick, what I'm saying is I've watched a lot of Leeds this season, right?
So have I. Okay. I've watched a lot of Leeds.
You just said you haven't watched games.
No, you told me I don't watch games. You're telling me I don't watch games.
No, but you just said you ain't got time to watch them because you're not indoors.
I don't watch every game.
So what I'm saying is Leeds had a problem, right, with in terms of the final third, right? They still played well in games. However, they changed their formation, right, which has solved the issue that they were having with scoring goals, right? So Farke's seen a problem, right, that the fans saw a little bit earlier than him. He addressed the problem, and now they're banging goals.
How long Farke been there?
Yeah, he was there last season.
Yeah, so he knows.
But we haven't got time, Nick. We haven't got time. We haven't got time for Nuno to figure it out, mate. I'll bring Ryan in a sec, but we ain't got time, mate.
I'm not apologising to the end of the season.
No, all right, but I'm sorry. The abuse that I got and you calling me negative, it was unfounded because what I was doing was critical. I wasn't just being negative for negative's sake. I was doing it based on what I saw, Nick. Right? So the overreaction was ridiculous and pathetic because I'm sitting there and saying it's not cut and dry. Like people think it's easy.
It's not
People think
easy.
it's a breeze.
Any relegation battle's not easy.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the confidence is unfounded. We're now 5 points adrift, Nick. Right. So even if we beat Fulham, we've still got to go and beat Brighton. You know, we've got to beat. These games aren't givens. I think a lot of fans think those games are givens. They're not.
No,
They're really not.
Givens, mate. Ryan, what do you think, mate?
Not.
Well, welcome. I like your noise.
Yeah, I don't know what bit I've jumped in, but yeah, it wouldn't be the same without you two arguing, would it? So I joined at the right time. But yeah, no, do you know what? Fucking, I just literally just come through the door now. It's freezing out there, so yeah, I've got me out on. My hair ain't done, so I look like a prison victim. So, yeah, no, look, it was sort of expected yesterday, and I shouldn't say that, but it's City away. Look, we had chances, we didn't take them. I don't know what's been said already, but yeah, I fear that, like Dan just said there, we're 5 points adrift now. That was a big win for Leeds yesterday. And the one thing I will say about Leeds, and I have seen a lot of Leeds this season, they are fighting and they're showing passion. You know, they've got their crowd behind them at home. Ellen Road is a tough place to go. You see what they done when they played City. Fulham took it to City. Why can't we take it to City? We just sort of expected it yesterday. And, you know, I felt sorry for the travelling fans that went up there yesterday, because I know a lot of people didn't go and they give up. We was out the other night with a couple of people that said, I'm not going, like, because they know what to expect, and it shouldn't be like that. And when we're down the bottom now, it's getting harder because every week we're not picking up points and other teams are. And then, you know, you're just finding yourself adrift. And as Dan said, if we beat Fulham, we're still in the bottom three. Then we've got to go and try to beat Brighton, a team that we hardly ever beat. And then, you know, you just got to hope that other teams ain't picking up points.
And this is the thing, right? What you said there's fight, right? We can have, on paper, better players than Leeds. We can have better players than Fulham, right? Forest, whatever. But they're showing fight. I am not seeing fight. I'm seeing performance where you go, do you know what? There was a period where we moved the ball around well and we played quite well there, right? But it's the fight that I'm not seeing. You know, it don't matter, like, if our team's not good enough, if they go in and they're fucking working their asses off for 90 minutes, right? And taking games to teams, I think we're in a better position. And I think that's what we're really lacking right now. You know, we've got the team that we've got. And this is what I said in a video last night. I think there are fans that are looking at fucking January to save us, right? January is going to be our saviour, right? And you break down January, and I think fans that are hoping for January, right, to go and fix us, I think are going to be disappointed, because when we know how Sullivan works, he's not going to get the signings in day one, right? It's going to be likely the end of the window around there where we start getting these players in. Then we've got to hope that they come straight in, hit the ground running. And then we've got to hope they're actually good and successful and make an impact. So the fruits of January we might not appreciate until February. By then, we're looking at that's like 8 games.
I don't think sometimes. I think you think this is our first rodeo. Like, remember COVID season?
But you talk like it.
Yeah, do you remember COVID season?
Yeah, remember. Yeah, okay, Lingard. Yeah, so okay, we're going to get a Lingard. We're going to get a Lingard in. Brilliant.
The one where it come back, we were down. We were down. Everyone had already accepted that we were down, and then we come back. We started beating the likes of Chelsea and all that, and we stayed up.
Mate, I need to see something
from
this team. We can go back 20 years.
At the same point of that season, Dan, when we was in trouble, when we signed Souček and Soufal, yeah, in January, we was already down. Everyone had already fucking accepted that we was going down. We weren't good enough. There's no fight in the team. And then they pulled 2 players out the hat. We go there and we stayed up quite comfortably. Yeah. There was teams up there. Oh, you won't catch them. And they went down. I can't remember who it was.
But we wasn't 5 to 6 points adrift, Nick. Right, like we are now. No, we weren't. No, we weren't. No, we weren't, Nick. You just sometimes I think you just say things.
5, 6 points adrift, and it's 2 games. 2 games.
Yeah, it's 2 games for us, but it's also 2 games for the teams above us, Nick. So what I'm saying is, everything that you're saying, you're basing it on hope. Right, you're not basing it off evidence.
What can you? What else have you got? What do you
want? But we're having a conversation about football, right? So if we're basing it off evidence and things we've seen, what I'm saying is the team have still got to prove they can do it.
Evidence and conclusions are two different fucking things. Let's see what the conclusion is, not the evidence right now. Let's see what the conclusion is.
Yeah, but we're talking about where we are now, Nick.
Down and making me look like a prick in front of everyone. Why don't we wait to see what happens at the end?
Let's just not do any shows and wait to see them.
Yeah, let's see what the conclusion is.
Okay, well let's fucking. Let's pause the channel, right? No more content. No more content till the end of the season, so we can see. Because that's what you're saying. Because what I'm saying is we got to review where we are now, and this is where we are, Nick. And this is what I'm saying is, and I'll let you jump in a second. I'll just put a thing on my point here. Is what we've seen.
They want to relegate
I'm not letting you talk me, Nick, because I'm talking, so I'm just going to keep on talking.
They want to relegate,
because Ryan's got to come in afterwards as well. So what I'm saying is. What I'm basing it off is what I've seen. So the team have still got to prove to us that they can go and win and win and win. Until they do, there's no reason for me to say it's going to happen because I haven't seen it so far this season. So everything I'm saying, I'm based on what I'm seeing, not what I might see.
I'll tell you what I'll do, Dan. I'll just chuck my season ticket in a bin, shall I? Because I'm travelling to these games like a prick. So if you're telling me,
we'll sit here and say, because Nick's travelling to games, we're going to win every game. Because Nick's travelling. Nick's travelling, so we're going to fucking win.
You're telling me there's no fucking hope. Everyone in the chat's telling me.
I never said there's no hope. This is what you're doing. You're lying. Why are you lying? Why are you lying? Why are you lying?
Lying.
You said I said there's no hope. When did I say that? I never said that.
That's what you're basically telling me now.
Well, I'm basically telling you I'm not.
When we get to the last 4 or 5 and it's still the same situation, then I'll start saying, "Oh, right, yeah, I was wrong." Let's wait.
Yeah, but I never said we're going down, Nick. I never said it. Tell me where I said we're going down. Tell me where I said it, because you keep inferring that I'm saying that. You keep inferring that I'm saying we're going down.
An apology for? Because I said we was going to start.
Because I said it's not going to be easy. I said we're not going to. It's not. As you said, it's going to be comfortable.
I think we said. I thought we'd stay up.
You said we're comfortably staying up. We're comfortably.
No relegation fight is easy.
I think you disrespected Leeds. You was arrogant, right? That's all I'm saying.
But that's everyone disrespects everyone in football. That's the way fucking football is.
Yeah, but it weren't based on anything, Nick. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like you just say things and you don't base it on anything.
I'm basing it on what I see.
It's like when you said Souček was our best creator.
What you said. All right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Souček was our best creator. That's what you said. He's our most creative player.
No, I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that.
You fucking did. You did. No, and it's in the comments because you said to someone, he's our best creator because he scores goals.
Show me where I said that.
I will.
I said he's better creator than Fernandes because he creates more fucking goals. Yeah. He scores goals.
You said that, but scoring goals ain't creating goals.
And he didn't score a fucking
Scoring goals ain't creating goals, mate. It's not creating. You're not a creator if you score.
Scoring.
Okay, so Javier Hernandez was a really creative player. Are you creative, right? All these tapping players, really creative. You not understand what creating a goal is.
Oh, damn. All right, just get on with it now.
All right, let Ryan come in because you
talk some shit. At the end of the day, look, we're 5 points adrift. We've put ourselves in a difficult situation. The more the games go on and we're not picking up points, it gets harder and harder. But there is still a lot of football to play this season, and it is only 5 points. You just need that little run. We know we've got to get to January and we know we've got to add to this squad. It's not going to be easy. You're not going to always get a Jesse Lingard or Souček who come in and hit the ground running straight away. But we've got to hope for that. And the one thing I looked at yesterday, even Nuno on the sideline, for me, it was a bit worrying looking at him because I think he was even looking around thinking, fuck, I'm in a worse situation than what I thought here because you look at some of them players on the pitch yesterday and they're strolling around. The second goal goes in and they're just all turning around, walking back to the halfway line. Where's the fucking passion and the argument and saying to people, why aren't you picking him up? Why aren't you picking him up?
I agree with. And that's because of Dan's captain. Dan who thinks Bowen's a captain.
Well, who's the captain in this team then? Who are you giving it to?
Not Bowen. Giving it to. The thing is with Bowen,
that's a good answer.
Yeah, the thing is we don't know what Bowen does in the changing rooms and that, but on the pitch, for me, he's not a leader. But now I look around that team and I think, who would you give that armband to? Who's going to fucking grab people by the scruff of the neck?
That's what we need to do. We need to find a scrapper, a leader, and a fighter.
I see a little bit.
Potts can be that in years to come. I think.
Yeah.
This is why I don't take it off. But taking off Bowen would be stupid anyway. But if Bowen's that transition captain to when Potts is ready to be that guy in 2 years, like kind of Rice was, I think he could be a future captain. I don't know about you, right?
He's going to be the captain. Yeah, I think he will be the captain in years to come.
Yeah, I mean, look, Potts has got a little bit of fight in him. Fernandez, I think, has got a little bit of fight in him. You know, look, it didn't help when we lose our best fullbacks to the African nations. That ain't going to help. But I thought Ollie Scholes yesterday, look, he's just come back, so I'm not going to slate him, but he looked a bit out of his depth yesterday. You know, Walker Peters, I didn't think he had a bad game, to be honest. It's always going to be difficult against City. We know that. You know, we haven't beaten them in, the last 17 games or something like that. Obviously, we beat them in the Cup, but, yeah, it is a bit worrying because I do look around and I watched Leeds, you know, and I watched them the other week against Liverpool when they was out the game and then they come back and showed fight. But when we sort of seem to roll over against these teams and just accept it, and you keep doing that, you're going to find yourself in the bottom 3 in May and you're relegated.
And the thing is, we're going up against obviously a great City team. We can all say that, but the defending was an absolute shambles. Like Kilman.
Yeah. It was. I've got to say this. I don't know why the fuck he brought Kilman back in yesterday. Kilman, he's a fucking wanker.
The thing is, with City as well, like they were a bit vulnerable at the back. We had chances.
I know, mate.
We had chances. Bowen had a couple of chances, you know. And one of them goes in. I'm not saying, look, City to me didn't even get out of second gear yesterday. If we'd have scored, they would have just upped it, and it probably would have been 4 or 5-1. But yeah, you can't fear these teams, you know. You can't. There's no point in them players getting on the team bus, going to these grounds and thinking, oh, we might as well just roll over today, because it just ain't going to work. But look, as I said, there is a lot of football still to play. We've got to have that hope that we will find a little run of form and pick up the wins. And I know we keep going on about these next 4 or 5 games, but as you said, there's nothing given in football, and you've got to chuck in there QPR as well. You know, I looked at QPR yesterday. They beat Leicester 4-1. They was 4-0 up at half time. I'm thinking, fucking, they're the last team we want to be playing in the cup at the moment. You know, so yeah, it is difficult at the moment being a fan. And look, you see the passion here today. Used to again at it because you care. And that's
people like this. Look, these are Dan's mates. Look, Nicky, don't be deluded. Except relegation.
So they were all your mates when they were slating me. They were not when I was getting slated 2 weeks ago after Brighton. They was all your mates, were they? That was saying that I'm negative.
No, bollocks. I'm not having all that.
What? Well, you know, I'm not. But I'm never saying it, and I say this again. There's still a part of me that thinks that feels like we can just scrape it. I think Fulham. If we beat Fulham, we'll see what happens with the Forest Fulham game today. They've lost 3 key players to AFCON, right? Big players, Iwobi and that. If whatever happens these next 2 games and we beat them, they get dragged right into it. They've got Marco Silva, who's out of contract to the end of the season. Now, after Christmas, we've seen how that's affected us with managers. I think, because like I said, I rate Leeds. I think Leeds will be fine. I think Fulham can get dragged into it for us. And this is what I'm saying, like, nothing's set in stone right now in terms of us going down. But this team, West Ham, have to prove themselves to us and show that they can do it, that we're not going to throw away games, right? Because we had draws, right? We had draws against Brighton and we heard, oh, well, it's a good point because we don't travel well to Brighton. Man United, it's a good point because we don't travel well there. Bournemouth, it's a good point because we don't travel well there, right? We can't keep celebrating points. The team need to stop. I've had the conversations. I've had it so many times where we've said, "Oh well, you know, we don't travel well there," and they're a good team.
They are good points.
The
good
points.
The thing that I'll be worried about is the league
points. The good points. They should have been. Bournemouth should have been 3 points, and Brighton should have been 3 points. You know, before the game,
Yeah, we're throwing away games, but the thing is, we're getting to that point, Nick, where you can, because we can sit there and look at Brighton when they come. We got a bad record against them, so that's a good point. Well, no, it's not, because we need a win. You know, Wolves, we don't travel well there. Well, no, we're there bottom of the table. We should be beating them. Like, there's a lot of teams, Nick, that are better than us in this league. We're 17th, right, or 18th. So there's a lot of teams better than us. So on paper, there's a lot of good points away from home. We need wins. It doesn't matter whether they're good points or not. We need 3, and we need to start winning. And the team needs to prove that they can win and then win and then win. And I'm looking at Nuno, right? And I'm not Nuno out, But I'm not like you. I'm not Nuno knows best. Like, Nuno deserves criticism because he's part to blame, right? It's not all to blame. He's been dealt a bad hand. He picked up a mess and he is better than Potter, but that's not saying nothing, right? But Nuno is partly to blame for us being in the bottom three. The Leeds game, that swing, right? This was before Leeds changed their formation and really kicked on. He plays a good team there. That's a 6-point swing. That's 3 points off them and 3 points to us. Like, and all these decisions, the Bournemouth game, like, he hasn't got time to experiment and figure it out. So he has to take blame. He's not. We've got a terrible squad, by the way, but he has to make the best with what he's got. That's the reality we're in. If he's going to keep us up,
I agree, and we've got to hope that anyone he wants in January he can get. You know, we know we're losing Fulkrug. There could be a couple of other players going out the door. So yeah, it's going to be difficult. But look, before the window opens, we've still got a couple of games. So we just got to. I know we keep saying it. We just got to keep that hope and faith that we can pull out something and get the, because as you said, where we are on the stage of the season now, 3 points is a must. You know, points. When you go to top 6 teams and top 4 clubs, if you can nick a point on the road against them, that's a good point, because I don't really expect anything against them, if I'm honest. But when you're playing teams around you or in touching distance, you need the 3 points. You know, because 2 wins in a week, which is difficult anyway, but it changes. It changes how we approach things and how we feel as fans, because then you think, yeah, there's a little bit of fight, a little bit of hope. We know we're not going to win every game. So it's just... I just hope that in May, that final game of the season, we play Leeds at home, don't forget. That final game, that could be looking to be a cup final. So, yeah.
I think they'll be out of it by it. But if we don't beat Fulham, then I will start sitting there and saying, I think that's a wrap. Because if we can't go to that game and beat them, mate.
I think if you offered me right now, 4 points ahead on the final day of the season, I'll take it.
We've got.
Listen,
let's be honest with it, right? And I'm going to be totally honest. We've got to take 10 points out of the next 5 games.
Yeah, I was looking at the 4. I think I said minimum 8 points, maybe 7 on the next 4. But yeah, 10. I think 5, which that includes Spurs, right? So we've got Fulham.
Got to go to Spurs.
Fulham at home
and give them a go. They're shit.
Brighton at home. That's it. Fulham at home, Brighton at home, Wolves away, Forest at home, Spurs away, right? God help me, please don't let them sack Frank before we play them. Even though I think their team ain't actually that good. But those games, right, so they're all on paper, and we don't like to talk on paper, they're winnable games, right? So no excuses. If we're not coming out there, like Nicky said, with 10 points, or at least 9 points, I can set to a loss here, or whatever, 9 points out of... Well, no, that's 5 games. 9, 10. Then we're screwed, mate. Because Leeds can keep... The thing is, the saving grace... So it's going to be interesting. Leeds and Forest have a tough run coming up. I still think they'll pick up the odd point here and there. But if we can maximise the opportunities we've got with this run and pick up a win and maybe a draw or a loss and then a win...
You know what I mean? Like,
out of it.
I think the issue is, the evidence is like, going ahead against Villa. We should beat Villa in that situation. I think it's just mistakes. Going ahead against Bournemouth, we should be seeing that out. And this is the reason why we are where we are. But nobody would expect us, right? People saying except relegation, Villa are 3rd in the league. They could go, they could cement themselves in there right today. We had the chance to beat them. We was too, and let's be honest, we should have beaten them. Or we should have at least got the score out of them. You know what I mean? So, it's just games like that. People just saying that we're so poor. Listen, that was a poor showing yesterday. Don't get me wrong, but I do agree with you. I think we go to these places and just sort of go, we're fucked here. But it all depends. I think everything depends on these next 5 games. How we perform, how we come out, how we get the signings in, over in the January, but in the next
how we line up,
they are crucial.
And Nuno.
Don't sit there saying it's inevitable, and don't sit there in a chat telling me it's inevitable, because it's not. It's not. I have seen signs. There is evidence there that we've got the the base is there to play well. We played well at Bournemouth first half. We played well at Villa against top sides. We played well at Man United against top sides. So there's the evidence is there. We've just got to get that last bit of the goal score. We could have leveled it up against City yesterday. We'd have had someone that can fucking score goals.
Yeah,
and he weren't sitting on the bench. That's the issue. So don't sit there saying it's inevitable, because I have seen performances where I think to myself, you know what? If we turn up like this in certain matches, we will wipe the floor with people. So
well, the thing is, the defense is still not good enough. So even if we do start scoring goals, we've got to keep the other side out.
Yeah, this is why I said the other day, Dan, that I think that we have to prioritise a centre back, because I think if we can shore up the defence, I'm confident in what we've got in the attacking wise. But it's just we concede too many goals. I'd say one clean sheet this season is poor. You know, we need to stop conceding goals, and stupid goals as well. And if we can just go out and find a commanding centre back who will take control of that back four, look, it's going to be a boost when we get Wan-Bissaka back and Diouf back. Hopefully, they don't pick up any injuries while they're away on international duty. But we just need a leader at the back, because I don't have any confidence in Kilman, Todibo, or Mavropanos as leaders. Todibo has been brilliant, by the way. Like I said it in the last few games. Even yesterday, I thought he had a decent game. But we need a leader. That's my priority in the January transfer window.
I think if we can get someone, I think we're going to have to prioritise, I guess, players. I would look at the top tier championship players if we can get them, right, and try and look at that and get those players that are ready to step up. Not like when we did the Jordan Hugill bollocks of, we're signing for the championship when you weren't good enough. But those players that are ready to step up to the Prem, that can make an impact, right, and have that fight and hunger. They don't think they're too good for the club, like some players, right? But if we do somehow go down, they're still really good players for there, and we can keep them. If we try and get these flash signings in and all of that stuff, and I don't think that's going to work out. You know, maybe we can get a loan that's like a Lingard type effect, but I think we need fighters, and we haven't got enough fighters in the side right now. You know, and that's the thing. So it's crucial, man. January, we have to get our business done early for it to have an impact. I think it's early. But yeah, how we line up in the next game in Fulham, like I said, Nuno, he hasn't got Jack. He has to wait. Stick fucking Wilson on. Go for it. And when we score, right, and I think we'll score, go for another one. And another one.
Have you seen this? Look, I think this would be a good signing for us, actually. West Ham expressed interest about signing Jorgen Stan Larsen from Wolves in January. West Ham looking for a permanent move for the 25-year-old amid talks for Nicholas Fulk loans on about early stages. I don't know whether they're going to sell him to us. I mean, I don't think they're in the race now. I think they're accepted. They're down. So he's a good player.
That's the saving grace, right? So if they get to that point and they're still in the same boat where they're like 2 points, 3 points, or whatever in the table, and they start to look and go, do you know what? If we can get a decent bit of money for him and actually invest when we go down, like, they could take it, and they might as well. It won't be popular with their fans, but it would make sense rather than let's keep him, get less for him in the summer, and then have to start again. So it's a tough deal, but yeah, it would be good if we can get that over the line, but it's going to be very tricky. But it's huge. Like the players, obviously, we linked with Charlie Creswell. I've seen we've been linked with him forever. They're going to push that. Obviously, he's I'm proving his lead, but he could be what we need. So it's on the sad reality is it's on David Sullivan. Right? It's on him. And that's where it is. It's how he's feeling, what he wants to
as
do.
I said before, look, I said this on Friday Night Pint. I do still believe we'll be okay this season. I still do believe we'll stay up, but I don't think this is the end of relegation scraps. And I think the more it goes on, the actual decent players that we do have are not going to want to stay here fighting relegation. And it's such a sad state the club is in at the moment. So
I'm the opposite of you. Obviously I'm the negative one, but I think if we stay up, I think we're set up quite well. Look, we've got Sullivan for now, right? I think we're quite set up well for the future. Nuno. And I was speaking to my Forest mate. He said he has that preseason. That's when he kicks on, and he's at preseason. I think if he gets the preseason, we've got a good core of players there. If you have a summer window, right, where Nuno can get some more players in the forward line, some wingers and that, some more pace in the side, and some better defense, I don't think we'll be anywhere near it next season. Personally, I know I'm seen as Mr. Negative, but I don't think that. I think that's why it's so crucial. But I think the staying up this season, it's going to be tight. It is going to be tight, and I think we're in this for the long haul. This battle, we're down there, we just need to survive. That's the key.
These next 5 games will tell everything.
Massive.
They will be key.
Massive.
There we go.
So yeah,
we're only 16 points off the top 4, so keep the faith, boys.
Exactly.
Do you know what?
I would be fucking Champions League.
I got clipped up on the watch along because I was saying to Jace, mathematically we're not out of the title race.
Yeah, until we're mathematically out of it, I still believe the title's there. But
we go on a run. But
please. The thing is, the signs have been coming for a long time with this football club. I mean, Declan Rice posted a photo last night of him and David Moyes together after the game, saying, "I've got a lot to thank this man for it." It's sort of like it's a bit of sad to see it, really, because when you go back a few years ago. The highs that we were on at the time, and I know we all appreciated them, and it wasn't great under Moyes. And I'm not saying, listen, I wish we still had Moyes, but it just shows how far we've fallen in the last 2 or 3 years, and we need to get back to having that belief that one day we can get a Nuno to get us settled and try challenging for that top 10 and get back into Europe again. But that's a long time away, long time away. We've got a lot of shit to get rid of before we can even think of getting them days back.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, I'm still hopeful on Nuno as a long-term manager, but in terms of right now and the nitty-gritty and trying to get wins over the line, it's not good. But he's coming at a mess. We need to get out of the mess. If he can get us out of the mess, I'm happy with him in terms of. Stabilize and long term. I don't want to go back. I don't want to be looking for managers again. I know people are like, it's a knee jerk. I'm not interested in manager races and who we're going to get right now. And if we go down, give him a chance to get us back up. That's how I see it. So, I know obviously Nick, you take a bit personal when I criticize because I know you're a big Nuno fan. But I'm not a Nuno hater. I'm not new. Well, I know you've been very defensive over him.
Yeah, I just think I'll give the geezer a fucking chance. I think.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But I can criticise him. But me criticising isn't me wanting him out. That's what I'm saying. Because I criticise him and what he does.
They were content creators. Look, no, Nick, I'm a good friend of Nick's, but Nick's calling for him to go. And I just think to myself, come on, man.
So is Scott, really.
Yeah, so is Scott.
The worrying thing is who's out there. That's the thing.
If
there's no one out there for me that I look at thinking, right, he can come in and do a good job, keep us up, So you've got to sort of just you just got to try to keep the faith that Nuno is going to turn it around. I mean, I'm one of these ones. I want to get behind him, but at the moment, it's difficult because it's not only him; it's the players that are letting us down as well.
Yeah. I don't blame people for wanting him out, by the way. If at this stage you go, do you know what? Because of the fact that some of the points that we've dropped are down to him. So
he's only won 2. He's only won 2 games. He's been there 12 games now, I believe it is. He's only won 2
wins
games
in 12 games.
Yeah. Anyone else when Potter went on that sort of run, it was we want Potter out. Lopetegui the same. Moyes,
Yeah.
So no managers. Safe if they're on a bad run of form, but to have what would be 3 managers in one season would be.
I mean, this geezer. Look, Nick's right to call him out. Open your eyes, Nick, and you melt. How am I fucking melt? Give the geezer a chance to get some fucking players in because he's been left with the biggest pile of fucking shite that you've ever fucking come across in your life because of the last manager. Give him
but you can't excuse. Yeah, but you still at the same time you can't excuse the mistakes that he's made. That were just ridiculous.
Everyone seems to excuse the mistakes Moyes made. Why is that? I'm just saying, like you talk about the chat when Moyes was making mistakes and we was all calling about Moyes' mistake. Everyone went, no, yeah, leave him alone. We're the fucking cup. Like, you know, you can't have it all fucking ways.
Yeah, but Nick didn't. Nick definitely weren't excusing Moyes.
He definitely weren't. No. But I'm just saying, look, there's people like this are the reason sometimes these fucking people get on my fucking wick. Like, you know, just give the geezer a fucking chance. Like, we can't keep on fucking calling for manager after manager after manager. You got to settle with someone. Yeah. Like, and you definitely don't get rid of him before you give him a fucking chance to get his own fucking players in.
Yeah. No, listen, I agree, but he deserves to be criticised, Nick. He deserves.
I'm not saying anyone's to be on criticism, but fuck me, man. Come on, come on.
Listen, I'm not for changing. I don't think either of us are for changing the manager right now.
Some people just want to see chaos. That's the problem. Some people in this fucking club want to see chaos. They like the chaos. They like they like your arguments. They like all this shit. Fuck it. I'm not into all of that shit. It's, you know, you've got to give the geezer a chance. You can't keep on going manager after manager. Let a manager come in, lose 2 games, and want him out again. Come on, we've got to start fucking at least giving the geezer a fucking chance.
Oh yeah, but excusing him at the same time, the mistakes.
Not excusing him. You know, his mistakes are his mistakes, but at least give the geezer a fucking chance.
Yeah. Do you know what the big thing, and I will say for Nuno was not giving his backroom staff.
Yeah,
he's been given a goalkeeping coach. That's it.
Like, yeah, I agree with that. I felt, you know, he's worked with the same people for years, and he would have loved it. And look, there's no disrespect to who he's working with now, because he obviously see a lot in Potts and Mark Robson to promote them, but he was given no choice really. So I do agree with that. He should have had his backroom staff that he's comfortable with. You know, we don't know, it could have made a difference. But look, it's going to be a mental couple of weeks, and yeah.
So wait till he gets his own players, his own players before his fuck's sake. Look how that penned out. Yeah, he nearly got in the Champions League, mate. With Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, I think the thing is, and that is the worrying stat though, is in 24 he ain't had a clean sheet. Like, his teams ain't had clean sheets. For a pragmatic manager, that is concerning. The lack of clean sheets from Forest. Oh, and and the thing is, he had good defenders there. So that is something that needs to be addressed, because we're not getting clean sheets at West Ham. And we're not scoring enough goals to not have to worry to be outscoring teams. So, listen, Nuno, the jury is out. Question marks. These next games will define him massively.
I'm a lot more comfortable with him than I was with Potter and Lopetegui.
I think if there's one year that West Ham fans would want to write off, it's 2025, because it's been a dreadful year. It's been a dreadful year. I'd love to count on how many wins have we got this year. Have we seen, like, at home? 4, 5 wins.
He got sacked because the fucking chairman is a fucking lunatic. That's why he got sacked. Yeah. He then he got rid of him and then went and got Postecoglou, who he sacked in about 5 games.
Do you know what the mad thing is? You talk about home wins, right? Our home record this season is atrocious, and we've got 2 games to home games coming up that we could add to that record, improve it the 2025. But our record at home is better than Spurs in the last year. Like, that blew my mind.
That's great.
That blew my mind. I can't. But they've got the worst home record in the league.
I think it's comparable this season, which is a fucking joke. I don't think they've won.
Yeah, I mean, I watched their game. I watched their game yesterday, like, and their fan base is turning on Thomas Frank as well, like, and they're another one, like, it's not going well. Sack the manager. You can't just, as Niggy said, you can't just keep sacking manager after manager after manager. You got to give them a bit of time.
Do you know why? Right, that's the easy thing, because when you look at managers, you change one man and you think, right, problem solved. You know, but the problems are deeper than one man.
The thing is, when you look at it, we've had Lopetegui since Moyes left. We had Lopetegui, Potter, and now Nuno, and nothing's improving. So is it the manager, or do you have to look at some of these players and just think, yeah, you're not good enough? You know, it's the manager picks the team. I get that, but when them players cross that white line, sometimes they've got to fucking take it on the chin, and they've got to scrap for life, because the manager ain't going to defend the goal. The manager's not going to put the ball in the back of their net. Sometimes these players, I think there's a lot of players at this club that get away with things. get away with criticism sometimes. And sometimes, we sat there and we've said a lot about Paqueta because he deserves it. But there's been times this season when Bowen's let us down. There's other players that have let us down. Kilman was a 40-odd million pound centre back. He don't look like he's worth fucking £4.
Yeah,
there's a lot of players that have to take criticism as well, and we've got to hope that you look at that squad and think, right, where's the fight going to come from? Are they going to produce it? Are they going to get us results? All we can do is cross our fingers and hope.
Yeah, and do you know what? I'll give you another little bit of positivity, right? We had 2 home wins until Nuno came in, right? He doubled our home record with wins over Newcastle, Burnley, and we've had a lot of away games, right? Obviously, apart from Villa. Right, so we got 2 winnable home games. So there's a chance that Nuno is gonna, fix our home form. Which, listen, it's a shithole. I think we're operating a handicap, and that's why I think Leeds finish above us. They've got that Ellen Road X factor, and I look at Fulham. But like I said, he doubled up already our home record. So hopefully, Nuno likes the London Stadium or something, we just got to see, like, at least we're not playing on Boxing Day, so it's not going to ruin our Boxing Day.
Yeah, if we turkey in peace.
Yeah,
turkey and pickles.
So listen, like Nick, I tend to agree what Nick said. All we have is hope left. That's all we have left, because we don't have the evidence performances. So let's just hope that we do kick on and the players really show what they're about, and that's what we're going to see, because we should beat Fulham at home. No excuses. They've, like I said, lost 3 big players for AFCON. Let's do this. Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And stay up and kick on.
It's over now. The game's gone. We can't do anything. Let's just enjoy your Christmas, chill out, have a nice little few Baileys, enjoy your Christmas, spend time with your family, and forget about West Ham, and then we'll be moaning on the 27th.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to start painting this beautiful studio that I've got, and I'm going to start putting some decorations up over Christmas. So hopefully I'll get some Christmas presents with stuff to put up. Yeah, can't wait.
There we go.
I didn't think this hat through, people thinking I'm a Harlem fanboy, but do you know what? This is actually, I don't even know what this is, because it's an Italian fucking brand, so I don't really get it, but it kept me head warm when I was out, and then, I didn't think about it, but look, I do like Haaland. He's a fucking unbelievable player, but not when he's scoring fucking goals against us.
He likes us as well, Roy, as a big West Ham fan, watches this regular.
Yeah.
Fucking
Haaland to West Ham in January. You heard it here first, but yeah, that Ampika thing, mate. She's sitting there singing "City, come on, City" when we're playing them. Horrendous.
The thing is, like, she's from like that area. She's probably a City fan, but yeah, it's still tasteless to do that.
That's
even
bad,
if you are
when you're in the middle of a fucking relegation scrap and your fucking husband's getting, is it her husband?
Yeah, well, fiance or something.
Well, when he's getting absolute fucking pelters thrown in the club like shit, and she's fucking cheering on the team we're playing.
Yeah, it's not good. Whether she supports them or not, like you don't do that.
Shut your mouth.
You can do that, but don't video it. Don't put it out on your Instagram.
Yeah, posting it.
Shut your fucking
mouth.
She
knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing. She loves winding up the West Ham fans. She sat there and questioned the size of our manhood, like, and all of that, and. She hates us, and she's letting us know it.
That is fucking something when she's got fucking Yoda walking around the house. Come on.
So listen, Athletic have this is just completely unrelated. Athletic have just published an article about a mysterious Premier League boss who's been investigated for naughty things. So if this person is charged, then we'll find out the name. Some of us know it. Some of us, it's not a well-kept secret. But that clock is ticking. That clock is ticking. There's new accusations. Yeah. We could find that out soon.
And as a fan base, that's the last thing we fucking need.
Yeah.
That's the last thing we need now going forward as a fan base. Fucking getting stick from rival fans that just chucks something else that they can just dig at us now. But yeah. Look, it's going to be interesting over the next few months what's going to happen with this football club, and let's just hope at the end of it there's a rainbow with a new owner.
Yeah. 2026. Hopefully, it's our year.
Someone's just put get Martin O'Neill in, mate. I think he might be on his way back to Celtic. By the way, they was talking this morning.
Yeah.
Well, I think I don't think he'll ever work for Sullivan. He see
that how nasty they were very, very fucking early, mate. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. So yeah, listen, it's therapeutic. It's been a therapeutic post-match pint. It's always good to get off your chest. You know what I mean? Even if it gets heated, it's getting out all that emotion, all that stuff, and I feel good. I feel relaxed now, and I'm not stressing on it. We go into Christmas and we enjoy ourselves, and we come out, and whatever will be. Like OK Jersey.
Here we go. So OK Jersey is a sponsor of this video. So you can get 10% off if you use the code Nicky. Was it Nicky 1?
Nicky 10.
Nicky 10.
Nicky 10.
Nicky 10 if you do that. So get a jersey like Dan's for Christmas. I know there's going to be some very, very good ones coming up there very, very soon. So get yourself on there and get an OK jersey. But there you go.
Get your England shirts in as well, because they're going to sell out.
Mate, I'm going to say that as well. You know, that World Cup's coming up and there's some fucking good England shirts on. I've got some
good ones, mate. Some banging ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, listen. Good one, lads. Good show. Therapeutic. And yeah, listen, we'll be back and covering some of these transfer stories as they come out, and FMP and all that stuff.
I forgot about that. We've got a whole month of moaning about no transfers.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. So listen, all have a good Christmas. And
the same geezer's been asking this for years.
It was about 10 years ago.
I swear down. There's a geezer that keeps on asking us for the videos. It was against Derby or something.
Honestly. Yeah. Crazy. So listen, great show. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a great rest of your Sunday. And one thing left to say.
Merry Christmas.